Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, hello and welcome to Wednesday Bible Study. We know it's Wednesday Bible Study because I have my Bible and it's Wednesday. So the text for today is going to be the gospel text for this Sunday, which is from Matthew 13, and is a continuation of Jesus telling these farm-themed parables. Last week he told the parable of the sower, extravagantly and indiscriminately sowing the good news gospel seeds. And this week he's got another parable about farming, and it's about the weeds among the wheat. And Jesus tells it like this. The kingdom of heaven may be compared to someone who sowed good seed in his field. But while everybody was asleep, an enemy came and sowed weeds among the wheat, then went away. So when the plants came up and bore grain, then the weeds appeared as well. And the slaves of the householder came and said to him, Master, did you not sow good seed in your field? Where then did these weeds come from? He answered, An enemy has done this. The slave said to him, Then do you want us to go and gather them? But he replied, No, for in gathering the weeds, you would uproot the wheat along with them. Let both of them grow together until the harvest, and at harvest time, I will tell the reapers, collect the weeds first, and bind them in bundles to be burned, but gather the wheat into my barn. So even though the text is the same, we'll take a different perspective on it. This Sunday, I'll talk about the weeds. Today, let's briefly discuss the wheat. So, the point that Jesus is making is that you are wheat. And we're all different varieties of wheat. More about that in a moment. Yet even though we are different varieties, we all have a couple of things in common, according, I think, to my understanding of this parable. For one, we are all created in the image of God as very good. That's how God labels it all at the beginning of creation in Genesis. Now, a little bit of a detour. Had a lot of folks talk about being created in the image of God and having some questions about that. Being created in the image of God doesn't mean that you are created as mini gods. If we take a look at the definition of God, the one I like best, which comes from God's discussion with Moses in the burning bush, and Moses wants to know, hey, who are you anyway? And God says, I am. So God is the essence of beingness. And if we are created in the image of God, then we are to be all that we were created to be. So, we're all created very good. We have that in common. And number two, God in Jesus Christ gives us the faith and the hope and the courage and the stamina and the wherewithal to stand tall, even when the weeds grow up around us. As Jesus says, let both of them grow together until the harvest. So, we have those things in common, but we are all different. Just as there are different varieties of wheat, and there are, we all have our own different genetic makeups. And using the wheat as an example again, each variety of wheat is bred to have specific characteristics, like some might be drought resistant, or disease resistant, or good yielders, or have strong straw, or have straw that's not so tough. Depends on what the farmer's looking for, depends on where it's grown, depends on what kind of soil it is. And I know a little bit about this because, well, as I was growing up, my father grew certified wheat seed, wheat and barley seed. His operation was called Sire's Certified Seed, with certified spelled with an S. Very clever, huh? Sire's Certified Seed. At any rate, what he would produce is the pure variety of whatever variety of wheat people were looking for. And I remember, for whatever reason, a particular name sticks in my head, and that was Cheyenne, was one of the varieties. I went online to take a look and see what varieties were popular in Montana right now, and not quite as mundane as Cheyenne. I came across Wildfire, Brawl, and Stand Clear. So, we are different. And we are called, I think, to be the best different we can be. Maybe you are drought resistant. Maybe you can handle the tough times. Maybe you have strong straw. You can stand up for what is right. Or maybe you have great yields. You are very productive. So we all have different genetic makeups. And using the analogy of Jesus' parable today, we are all different varieties of wheat. Some are brawl, some are wildfire, some even are stand clear. I think if I was going to be a wheat, I'd want to be stand clear, just for the heck of it. So, Jesus says, be the best variety that you can be. Yet, despite the differences that we have, Jesus also reminds us that we have a couple of things in common. For one, we are all created in the image of God as very good. And two, God in Jesus Christ has given us the faith and the hope and the courage and the stamina and the strength to stand tall, even when the weeds grow up around us. Amen. So thank you for being here again today. I appreciate it. Join us for worship this Sunday, 9 o'clock outside. It might be a little hot and humid. Bring your sun hat, sun umbrella, cool drink, and a chair. And remember, as we continue in this week, to use your heads, wash your hands, wear your masks where appropriate, and keep the faith. Amen.